Good idea. It's the Morning Joe to your Morning Joe. It's the blue collar to your blue collar. It's the lab coat to your scientists. Speaking of scientists, y'all want to learn something today?
Jeff, what's on the docket?
Okay, guys, this is really important, and I think we might need a song for this one, but this is a huge, groundbreaking topic that Good Idea is perfectly positioned in the marketplace to handle. This one comes to us from Aiden. Weighted blankets, but for clothes?
Listen, I love weighted blankets. Who's next?
No, my brain shorted out because I find that concept so enjoyable.
Oh, yes. Man. I don't know if any of y'all have PTSD or crippling anxiety or even ADHD. I have all three. Well, crippling anxiety, I don't even know. It's sort of more like a 3 out of 10, but yeah.
Whatever.
PTSD,
some folks, it doesn't really matter.
Autism, anxiety, depression. I think that's the whole list.
So weighted blankets are great for that. It's okay if it's too hard.
How's that?
That's better.
That's good.
Yeah.
What did you say, Aiden?
No.
I have no idea. Oh, you know what? I do know. I said I don't know. I said I don't really need to list mine. Most of them are similar or the same.
But yeah,
so
weighted clothes.
Yeah, let's define our terms. Tell people what weighted blankets are and why they're good, and then we can move on to the important subject of clothes.
Okay, so every single night I go to bed, like most people. I put my bed on one leg at a time, just like you. But also, then after that, I put a big heavy thing on top of me that weighs about 22 pounds. It's not my little brother. My little brother weighs a lot more than 22 pounds. It's a weighted blanket. And I'm laughing because I just remembered a bit that I did my freshman year of college with my friend when we were very tired about how I would pay him like $3 a night to be my weighted blanket. It was really weird. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. Weighted blanket is 22 pounds. Mine is, and I put it on top of my other blanket, which is a comforter. It's like the nervous system, right? The weight and the pressure like calms the nervous system. And you listen to this podcast and you know that I have nervous energy sometimes. And so I like weighted blankets for that. My idea for weighted clothes was just like, man, I just wish that when I walked around with my flannel, these little white squares in between the pretty purple and pink lines had little pouches of like glass beads or something to make the jacket a little heavier. So it would do that same pressure effect on my body as I walked around throughout the day. There you go.
I love that idea.
Yes.
I find that all of my clothes that are heavy enough are too warm.
Right. And so that's why we need to use materials science to put us over the hump, right? Like I couldn't understand why I felt so good wearing a hoodie, and my ex-wife made fun of me about it or whatever. Like, and it turns out it's because something about kind of cutting down my peripheral vision a little bit and making me warm all over is great.
It's the sensory thing, yeah.
If you put layers of a light fabric, like say silk or Kevlar, make it bulletproof. That was Kai Yu's suggestion. And it turns out that European warriors often used multi-layers of fabric in a shirt or tunic to help them protect them from arrows and stuff. The Japanese made whole like armor suits out of it. for them, I guess it was for fighting, but for us, since we don't do a lot of arrowing in our day-to-day lives, it'd be just keeping us chill.
Yeah. They have like weighted vests and pressure vests, but they, as far as I'm aware, they're only for like autistic children. So they don't really come in like adult sizes, which sucks.
And that's the problem, is like my brain is in that market for autistic children. Like I'm like, fuck yeah, give me a fucking weighted vest.
Autistic
Like,
children become autistic adults. Hello. Like
what? Hold on. What?
This is unprecedented information. Do you have a study or like science to back this up?
Yeah.
No, but you know how sometimes like the insides of a coat will be what?
Jeff asked for a study, and I said, yeah, I'm an autistic adult who was an autistic child.
That's a case study and should not be counted.
Yeah, that's anecdotal evidence. I need to see more of this evidence that autistic children... Go on, Aiden.
Round them up!
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
That was intense.
I need quiet erp. I need quiet erp in here. Help me out, quiet erp.
Okay, Aiden has been slain while jaywalking, and I'll finish up this. So apparently this...
Sorry, hang on. Quiet erp is going to round up all the autistic people and kill us.
I didn't say kill anybody. I need to round you all up so we can get study.
Oh,
right.
damn.
18-year-olds.
This is for Jeff.
18-year-olds.
That's not disappointing.
As 17-year-old autistic children become 18-year-old autistic adults, we need to be there on their birthday to make sure that happens. Well, and to study the percentages and stuff. And who is better positioned to deal with that than a ninja sheriff? They're just in and out.
Like,
you don't even know it.
My brain doesn't just become suddenly neurotypical because I've turned 18.
And this brings us to our hole in the market. Good idea. Making $1 million and helping people save lives. I even have a brand name for at least the sweatshirt division. I call it Heavy Hoodies. TM, TM, TM.
I like heavy hoodies. Ooh. I'd wear a heavy hoodie.
Smam.
I don't know if my description for like the little pouches of glass beads on the square parts of flannels or on the square parts of the patterns on flannels is any good visually or even design wise from a comfort standpoint. But that's something I think we could workshop more in the workshopping stages. What else is funny to talk about?
What are some other materials we could hide inside clothes to make them heavier?
That's
Rocks.
good. Gunpowder, high utility.
Water.
Like
That's
water
it.
beds, but water clothes.
It's just
I like water clothes.
just gunpowder and water. Anything else? What about food?
Rocks.
You said
I
rocks.
said rocks.
Oh, rocks is good.
I said gunpowder, and that sounds so awful. I feel like I was just trying to think of something that would have high utility. I don't know.
Well, right.
Rocks
We
are
have
pretty,
black powder
therefore
pistols.
high utility.
We also have
rocks for sure.
We also have black powder pistols, which help autistic adults. So you can just plug your black powder pistol into your gunpowder vest.
Right. That makes
Good to
sense.
go.
G and I both, when we turned 18, we were like, now that I'm an autistic adult,
So
I'm gonna need a black powder pistol to protect myself.
I have this sweatshirt that has a pocket for my cat. And that is one of my favorite sensory. Well, I have a lot of sweatshirts that don't have pockets, but that particular sweatshirt has a very large pocket that a cat will fit in.
Can I hit you with this? Pet
It is
pockets.
my favorite sensory item. Pet pockets.
Pet pockets
Pet
from
pockets.
Jeff. I like pet pockets. That's good.
Okay.
That's a way to weight
Is there a
clothes.
size limit for the pocket? Because, like, how are you going to fit a husky in a pet pocket?
Okay, so let's say I have a husky or a kink partner that is large, and I need to fit them into my pet pocket.
I think both of those are pretty squirrely for pockets, but I guess it could be like 2 pockets over the shoulders and 2 like just above the hips, and your husky or partner will slide their arms and legs through that, and maybe like a fabric wrap around their back. But I'm thinking smaller animals like a chinchilla, like a hamster will basically have different, whatever your needs are, different size pet pockets per clothing item. Maybe you could have cargo pants with multiple size pockets.
Yes, that's good. Cargo pants for to keep pets and gunpowder in. I keep thinking about gunpowder because I watched the last episode of Good Omens last night, and Agnes Nutter, witch, is very good at having gunpowder in her coat. Gunpowder and nails.
And nails, yeah.
And nails. So that's another thing we could use is nails. We could just have coats full of gunpowder and nails.
That sounds like a really good idea because you know how bad those witch burnings are.
I'm concerned about the possible washer and dryer safety, and nails is a little tricky. I think
wash these clothes, obviously.
Oh, these are unwashable clothes. Okay.
I don't like that. For so many reasons, I don't like that.
Eventually, these clothes just get so goddamn stiff you can't wear them anymore.
Gross.
No. Now, that does fit into our modern capitalist system, but I think if we're designing a better world, we definitely are going to want washable clothes.
I mean, I kind of like the idea of unwashable clothes as though they were like the Sharpies of clothing.
Ooh. The Sharpies of clothing.
I don't know what that exactly means.
Basically, it means you could sell them with sharp objects inside them, not washer safe.
Oh.
The Sharpies of clothes. So Sharpie. We could even get it like, a tie-in.
I just remembered something very important. Oh.
George says Beetlejuice.
Hey, I had to leave the show early. Something came up, but hey, everything's fine now. It's all good. You can find me on Twitter at ReadySetFire123 and enjoy the rest of the show.
Can I just say how great George is? I love working with George.
Let's just gossip about how good George is. Whatever he
Let's
leaves.
just talk about how good George is now that he's not here.
Yes.
Ugh. Gee, what was your favorite idea of the episode?
Honestly, Octopiece.
Octopiece.
New plurals.
Octopiece. New plurals. Jeff, how about you? What was your favorite idea of the episode?
Oh, man. Oh, there's so many. I just want to check out my notes here. We did so much good work around plurals. Ninja Sheriff was pretty good. We didn't get into it too much, but The Purge, but for divorce. Something fun that we might want to come back to.
Oh my God.
I think what I love most about the new plurals is the idea that by changing our language, we literally make hybrid creatures, and we end up with a bizarre hellscape of bat boar bears.
Well, no, there is just one other the obvious logical progression is that they all must become species, and it is one other giant conglomerate creature that the human race must fight against for its own survival. That's the AI awakening. That's the singularity.
Right,
whatever. I mean, that's Armageddon. That's the return of Christ. I don't know. I mean, it's all of them. I don't know. It's kind of a big deal.
What about you, Aiden?
I think my favorite idea of the episode was probably the offshore tax platform Ninja Island.
There's sand all around it. Don't forget that underwater sand.
Oh, Jeff, your bit about underwater and overwater thinking was funny.
Yeah, it was.
It was good. Okay, I keep doing the podcast. Gee, Dude,
Yes.
I have an important question.
Okay.
What's your pick of the week?
Shit.
You're not allowed to say quieter, Ninja Sheriff.
I hadn't
It's not
thought
out
about
yet.
it. Oh, you know what it is? Critical Role.
Critical Role.
I've been watching the shit out of Critical Role. I have never watched it before, so I am starting at the very beginning and just moving on.
It doesn't daunt you that they're so long and there's so many?
No, it does not. It used to. It used to, but then I started watching them and I can't stop now.
Cool. That's been my thing. My issue
Yeah.
is the length.
They do have a podcast.
Do you have a favorite character?
A favorite character? My favorite character is Grog.
Grog. What's Grog's deal?
Grog is the, he's the barbarian. He's a... Crap, what is he?
Oh, like what's his species?
Yeah.
For folks who don't know anything about tabletop role-playing games or podcasts, that show's an actual play that happens live. Sometimes they wear costumes. It's on YouTube and any podcatcher of their choice, right?
He's a Goliath. He's their barbarian fighter, and I love him very much because he has just some straight up himbo energy.
Jeff, how about you? What's your pick of the week?
Well, let's see. I've been listening to Stephen King's The Firestarter, and it is very dark and very upsetting and hits all my boxes. There's imprisonment and weird testing, kids, love between a father and daughter. It's everything I needed on this weird, dark pandemic weeks. Anyway, check it out. Stephen King. He's a writer. You might have heard of him.
My pick of the week is normal, bright, exciting, and light pandemic weeks.
What?
Jeff said on this weird, dark pandemic week, and I said my pick of the week is normal, bright, and exciting pandemic weeks. Anything specific to plug?
Just my Twitter. It's G_the_B on Twitter.
Follow G on the Twitter.
I haven't been
Hell
on it in
yeah.
a while, but when I do get on, it's pretty funny. So
I will
is
second that
true.
emotion.
Jeff, how about you? What are your plugs? Do you have anything to plug?
Shit, y'all. Find me on Twitter at El Jefe Tacoma. I'm all over Facebook. I've been doing YouTube videos of my first book, Shattered Worlds Day 1, over on my El Jefe Tacoma Facebook page. And I got all kinds of podcasts. Find all of those through Sinister Parent Company at Sin Parent Co. And also listen to my actual play set in the world of Stephen King's Dark Tower called The War for the Tower on your podcatcher of choice or warforthetower.com.
nice. What about you, Aiden?
I'm gonna plug Sinister Parent Company, which is our podcast that we do. Listen to Good Idea more. Share it with people who you think would like it. Listen to Straight Off the Top of My Headlines. If you're trying to find more of our shows, look up Sinister Parent Company on Twitter or Podchaser or any other place that there might be like Google, and see if you can find our podcasts on there, because there are lists of them, and I know that you can. Should we end the show? How do we do that?
Yes.
Hey, that was our podcast. We were talking about doing a song at the end there, but honestly, we're all exhausted, and I don't think we're gonna do it. We're frazzled and exhausted.
Well, it turns
and
out
tired.
that we got a letter from corporate that said no song this week, so
God
Said
damn,
no song this
fucking
week.
corporate, man.
I know they're all up in our ass.
Fucking corporate. Shit. Well, I guess we should end the podcast there then.
Isn't Aiden
That was a
corporate?
good idea. Am I corporate?
technically. Don't let it get to his head.
Shit.
Don't let it get to my head, you guys. No, I'm too tired to do a song this week, guys. Sorry.
That's corporate
Not
saying
feeling it.
no songs.
That's
there you
corporate
go.
saying no songs. Corporate says no songs. This has been a good idea. Corporate says no songs this week. We're done here.
Okay.
There it is. There it is. We ended the podcast.
This episode is really interesting too because it just sort of ends.